Good evening, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Talk the Ting. Today, Wednesday, the 24th day of February 2021. We would like to thank each and every one of you who are already tuned in, and we would like to welcome you guys to our interview with Mr. Colton T, the baddest reggae dancehall artist in Dominica in a league of his own, and also the baddest dancehall artist in Bouillon. So without further ado, we have to bring on my co-host, Mr. Rajiv Wallace and Dwayne George, and our guest, Mr. Colton T. Welcome, guys.
Yes, man. We back.
Good night.
We back again. Good night, everyone. Hope everybody's doing good.
Oosh.
Yeah.
In the building.
Yes, I.
Are you ready for my camera and my big reveal and all?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, and somebody playing in the background now.
Yeah.
Yes, Colton. Welcome to Talk the Ting, my brother.
I mean, give thanks.
After it's been a while, we're trying to get that man on Talk the Ting. That man was a busy man, boy.
Boy, since season 1, we
Trying to get that man since season -1. Trying to get that man on it.
That is signs of success. When fellas, the harder you get to reach, that is signs of success.
Don't tweet my on too much tonight, man, Rajiv. Yeah.
Anyways,
if it's that, it's that.
let's get straight into it, man. Colton, welcome to the show again. Thanks for giving us your time, for everything.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna start it off how we usually start off all of the shows with the guests. Who is
Before we start, I can get the link. Let me just get that link.
I just sent it to you, Colty.
You just send it? All right. So let me just blast that and then we can just run it.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate that.
I mean,
the fans on MCD get to know the Colton T. Colton T. To me, I tell them, we get into it.
I trying to send out a blast there real quick.
Yes, I.
What are we saying?
Anyway, everybody watching, I hope you guys had a good day today. I hope you guys had a really good day. The weather making a turn for the better up in New York side. We had 50-something degrees today, which is a very big change from what we've been having. So,
should I say what I had today?
What you had, my brother? Keep it over there, man. I'm interested, my brother.
75, bro.
75, don't worry.
Yeah.
Can you 2 months for it to have 105? I'll have 75 then.
Celsius, please.
The same one you had, is that I had?
Yes, I call you. You ready there?
give me a couple seconds.
Colton, you copying the paste of the mouse, man.
Yeah, man. I mean.
All right, people, share the live while we wait for Colton to send out his blast. Share the live, tag a friend, share it on your page, start a watch party if you have to.
Yeah, man. I see Christian asking there. Christian is a top fan. Asking what we drinking. I have a little ginger when I have in my glass there, and nothing crazy. Today's home day. I can't get too crazy. Ginger wine. You check. Just take a little thing there. And we have a little announcement now. Before we start, a good thing we take a little break there. So all of our videos of our past interviews, up to the last one with Dada. Well, Dada wasn't really an interview. That was a record-breaking discussion. That everything on YouTube. So you guys can go on YouTube, Talk the Ting, YouTube page, subscribe, like, share the videos, check it out. All right.
Turn on that notification button so you can be notified every time we drop a video. And for those of you who have friends who are interested in looking at Talk the Ting, but but don't have Facebook, we are definitely looking into how we can stream via YouTube as well. It's taking us some time to get the logistics right, but if they really want to watch us, they can always check the episode. We're gonna try to make sure that every episode is uploaded within 1 hour of the episode coming to a close. So 1 hour after every episode, the YouTube video will be also available on the YouTube channel. So you can just at least view it, even if you're gonna miss the idea of being live and interacting with us. We definitely want that traffic on the YouTube channel as well. And it's a raw, uncut video, nothing edited, so you're not going to miss anything from the actual live episode.
And
Colton.
the good thing is no cursing, none of that. So you can play it in the car with your kids and everything, you know. So just stream it while you're driving and all that. You already know the vibes already.
Yeah, man.
Yes, I Colty.
Shady Live, Colty's back. Rajiv, take it away now.
All right, Colton. So we're gonna start from the beginning. Who is Colton T? You kind of make it simple, Colton T, but who is Colton? Give us a little introduction. We might have guests that never heard of you before. We international. Take it away.
Well, I mean, straight to the point. I mean, Colton is music right now. I mean, those who've known me from, primary school days and high school days, probably you were the last set of people to know me, like, personally or privately, you know what I mean? From since then, it's just been about music, and, that has been my life from since, leaving high school up until now. As the listening audience should know, I mean, I major in dancehall and reggae. I dabble a bit in booyah now and then, or every year, I make a contribution. And yeah, that's basically, Colton T.
All right. So why the name? Why Colton T and not something fancy? Sometimes fellas come up with something a little more, something fancy.
When I was doing different names and whatever, it's like I was just like, I wanted the people. I was always kind of popular, actually, if you know me from school, and I was just like, if I use my name, just be easier for people to, recognize me. And yeah, Colton, my last name, Colton T, yeah.
So
No rocket science.
So hold on, the T is what though?
Thomas.
Oh, okay.
So when Dominica, you originally from, and you say Raji from school, so that I guess you went to SMA, I guess.
Yeah, I'm originally from Goodwill. Goodwill, Pottersville area, as my place, as my zone, as my tilth, however you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So in school now, you say after high school. So while you was going for high school, how was your interest level in the music and all that? Were you performing in high school shows? Were you, was it people telling you, listen, man, you have a lot of talent for the singing and things, so take it serious? Or how did you make that decision basically to end up after high school going into music?
Because you were a science student, right?
Yeah, I mean, back in high school, I was kind of really just focused on girls and finessing my way for forms. Yeah, that was my vibe.
I like your honesty, boy.
Yeah, man. And on every interview, I always honest. I was one of them youths that always used trickery in school, to get through forms and that was my vibe. I always found a way to beat the system some way, somehow. And, that was my focus, beating the system, enjoying that, fooling around with my teachers and, girls, ladies. Yeah, it wasn't really about music. I had loved foreign languages back in high school, French and Spanish. Yeah, and there were times that I did, the teacher was offering if you can learn a song in French, then you get 100% for the term. So I'm like, me being a tad bit lazy and wanting to be smart.
At the same time.
I think it was from Sahel at the time. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not gonna do no work for the rest of the term. I just basically gotta learn that song and learn it to the T and come and perform it at the front of the class. So I probably learned that within 2 days, 3 days, and she was like, "What?" Nah. So she asked me to go at the front of the class and perform it. And yeah, man, I performed that word for word. in key, in tone, in everything, 100%, I sit back and relax for the rest of the school term, 100% average. Yeah.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
that good deal, pal.
First
Yeah,
form,
man.
third form, was the idea always like music, or was there some other like career that you had in mind before you decided, you know what, let me take this music thing to the next
Well,
level?
I was playing football back then. I captained the football team back in high school. Throughout the 5 years, I was always like a sportish guy. So that was my interest back then: sports, animals. I wanted to be a veterinarian. So as you mentioned, I did sciences. But after high school, different vibe. You get to college, you get to face real life, and things change. Yeah.
So Colton, I know there's a lot of people who said that they started their music in school. At no point, I know SMA pushes their students into things like Calypso, Junior Monarch. At any point in time, were you interested in that, or were you somebody pushed you in that direction, like one of your teachers or anything like that?
No, I don't recall. Maybe I had suggestions, but I don't know. Calypso and them stuff, that was never really my thing. I was like, nah. I was like, yeah. Competitions was never my thing. I was always like, kind of just like, yeah, let me keep it to the street, because it's like even in Q95 talent search, they had that competition, and basically like I kind of built my career, or started off my career on that.
Yeah,
where
I
it's
remember. I
like,
remember that.
Yeah, there were the competitors, and then there was me. Like people used to always ask, like why I'm not, taking part of the competition. I'm always coming in as a guest act, But my thing is, I don't want to own no number. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody to categorize me on a number, not number one, not number two. I just Colton T and doing my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So are you a musician with a job, or are you a full-time musician currently?
I mean, one of the only full-time musicians on island. Proud. Yeah.
I can hear it in your music, to be honest. I can hear it in your music. Trust me.
But when did you
Yeah,
decide to take that plunge though? Like, how did you decide? Because that's a big decision for
It's a
some
big move.
Dominica. That's a big move. And I'm sure
Yeah.
you did have a job, and then you decide, you're gonna do this full time. When did that?
I never had a job.
Okay.
Music always been my job. Like from
Mm.
since I leave high school, like I've been on the streets. You know what I mean? Like I never go and work for no institution or nothing like that. Like it just been, yeah, streetwise, street smart. Yeah.
So now the question I have for you is, I mean, when I first started hearing about Colton T, one of the things I heard the most was why that man have to be singing dancehall. The vibes already in Dominica is people figure if you're not booyah, you're singing, or you shouldn't be involved in music. And like you say, you ever work for nobody. So how was the first few years in the music business, trying to pursue a genre that is not something that Dominicans really was too happy about at first? How was that? How was that journey when you started off?
I mean, honestly, starting off, I always felt like I was one of the most hated artists in Dominica. People would always criticize me. I mean, I would probably be looking back at performance videos, and hearing people saying how much that they hate me for what no reason. Maybe my skinny jeans, maybe my style, and at the time I was trying to find a style where I could bridge, an intonation from core reggae music and bridge that of what we have Dominica in terms of our culture. And I was trying to bridge that gap. So I was really and truly in, experimentation mode, and people didn't even allow me that chance. I mean, they just basically judge me. And what that did for me is like it sent me more in my shell in terms of like I became less of a people's person, but like, I was always focused and determined. So it's like I still was putting out music. And then at some point I started using that level of hate and that level of attention to channel more attention and energy to myself. And
Yeah, so because I mean, come to think of it, I don't want to compare it to anybody, but I can just think of like Nasio Fountain and those kind of guys that Nasio singing reggae, right? I mean, that man from Osage side. And if you look at that man, you might never think that man is a reggae artist if you just look at him. But when you hear that man music is, you know, world class, right? I mean,
Definitely.
you know, so in that sense, I mean, did you ever go somewhere, you know, move from Dominica at some point, you know, to try to pursue the music? Because I know sometimes, you know, the phrase that they say, a prophet is never loved in his own
Welcome in his
homeland,
own, yeah,
right?
yeah.
You feel like you had to leave to kind of like, you know, really get into the music and maybe come back at some point?
Yeah, that was the idea. That was the idea. You know, everybody was like knocking it into my head, you know, out there is better. Up until the time that I really did go out there and realize like out there is no better, you know what I mean? It's like Dominicans have it, you know, all wrong in their brain and all twisted. You know, it's like they always compare me to that of a Jamaican or a Trinidadian with individuals who have a population that exceeds, you know, what we have. You know, you have a Jamaican basically going to America to perform for Jamaicans, you know, because Jamaicans have migrated all over the world, you know, and the population of Jamaica is basically bigger than that of Jamaica itself, you know. But these guys are basically going to America and to Japan and to Europe to perform for a lot of other Jamaicans. Now and then you will have one or two that will, you know, slip through the system and basically make it onto like, you know, summer jam festivals, etc., etc. But it's just guys who are big in their hometown.
Right.
You know what I mean? Trinidad, same thing. And I mean, for Dominica, like I'm one of the largest down here in terms of music, and I can proudly say that. You know, so I mean, the comparison is kind of like not really necessary. You know, because it's like you have just like you have an artist who is big in Jamaica, I'm big in Dominica, and that's just that.
So Colton, just to piggyback off something that you just said, you touched the lines of, you know, trying to find yourself and doing things. And I remember seeing you come to the studio by Cornell back in the day, and Cornell used to play some of your songs, and Cornell always used to say, yo, Mr. Have something about him, you know. And I didn't know who Colton was, but you came around for the QTS talent search and you were the guest artist, so we had to back you up. And then later on, I really found out who you were when you started posting some very, as people would say, strange photos of yourself. And that is something we get artists to do. Artists do that all over. So, but we in Dominica, a lot of us
wasn't used to that.
Yeah, why you posting those? Can you tell us what that phase, my boy?
You know, like at the end of the day, you know, like a lot of people say about sellout, but I was just being creative. And like I was saying, like I was using a lot of the hate, you know, to channel energy to my music. And, you know, like I would always like, you know, get into character or get into costume, you know, like whenever I'm releasing a single or preparing to do a new music video. And sometimes if I just post a picture of prep, people would take that and run with it. And I mean, it served as a publicity stunt, but it was just like me, just like, yeah, showcasing to my fans, like, yo, I'm getting ready for a new project. Yeah. And people just take it and run with it. But again, it shows the level of energy, the level of attention that I can generate, you know? Yeah.
So
that if I do something, it actually matters.
Right.
So it not only shows that that I'm just like a regular artist, it shows the kind of power and how big I am in Dominica. Yeah.
So apart from we talk a lot about like people and, you know, what they have to say and whatnot. But apart from that, the you know, sometimes growing up in a Dominican household, to tell your mother or your father or anybody in your house, boy, I'm gonna sing. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what. What was the support from within your household? And we know you lost your mother recently. You know, condolences on behalf of the crew for that. How was
maximum love and respect
with the family and with, you know, the people closest to you? Those you consider family, not necessarily just her, but the people in your household. How was the support for that when you decided, well, music is it?
From the adults in my family, you know, I mean, on both sides, you know, mother, father, like I didn't really have that kind of support. You know what I mean, they expected me to basically do some bank job or, you know, pursue that veterinarian dream that I had, you know, but I was at a point in my life where I wasn't really dreaming anymore. You know what I mean? I was just like taking things into reality and making things what I wanted to be. And, you know, I was kind of like really rebellious at that time. So it was about my vision, that not what nobody else wanted for me. I want what I wanted for myself. And I feel to myself, like, whether they supported me or not back then, is like I supported myself, and that's what took me through. And even before my mother passed on, I was able to showcase to her and show the rest of my family, what I really am capable of. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to stay on your mom's passing and whatnot, and how it affected your music. Um, Based on that song you released, it seems that you were somewhat preparing for that to happen. And I mean, for someone like me, I knew that your mom wasn't doing too well for a while. And how hard or how easy was it for you to already know the inevitable and still find a way to put it into your music and present it to people, because that's a very personal thing. So how easy or hard was that for you to do?
But I would want to jump and first of all say it was easy, because at the end of the day, how I do music based on my lifestyle. I do music based on my experience or experiences that are within like my close, intimate circle. So it's like when I sing about something, it's actually something real. I've been singing about true experiences from the jump, from the get-go, whether it be about girls, whether it be about like, motivational messages, whether it's a gun song. I've been singing real hardcore stuff. Nothing fake, nothing. Yeah. I do it, I sing it. It's real, I sing it. And as an artist, based on being that type of artist, it's like I need to experience a lot of different emotions in order to basically write, or to basically, well, not write, but to med vibe, as I like to call it. So pain, hurt, heartbreak, like I need to experience those real emotions to channel my energy into music. Hate it or love it, so it's like there's some things that I just need to go through in order to basically like bring out. Yeah.
So hardly talk about your project there, but I mean I just you talk about your experience. I gotta tell you my experience. The first song I heard from Colton was Ice Cream Man. I say, well, who is Mr.? I don't know that Colton there. couple years pass, and then I hear some other tracks. And then you release an album in 2019, my brother. And that I can tell you, me personally, that's one of my favorite pieces of work in music. Trust me, I've listened to the album maybe 100 times because I just love the way the music was put together. What was the inspiration
Yeah.
for some of them songs, man? Like I remember the first time I heard that Black Beauty song, but I say that song, I say if that man was in any, I remember telling Rajiv and them, if that man was in any other place other than Dominica, that man would be a millionaire. Because the kind of quality of music, when I heard this song, I say, wow. What was the inspiration for some of those songs on that album, man? Because the album was a boss album.
Well, before you answer, you actually had a song named Inspiration, and I still waiting for you to remaster it and relaunch it.
Yeah, that's actually my first song, like Inspiration. Like, yeah, that's my first radio airplay song, like in terms of like a reggae dancehall kind of song. Like that's my first song. That's years ago, boy, Rajiv.
I still have it.
Yeah, you must send that in my email, boy. But yeah, inspiration in terms of like the album, again, at that time, like I was going through a lot of struggles, and I've been putting a lot of work in terms like where music is concerned, and constantly having to, because people talk about me on Facebook all the time, and I'm constantly a topic, always relevant.
Well, let me ask you a question, not to cut you off, but when people talking about you, is that something that you actually like follow? Do you like sit and like read those comments and is it something that kind of bothers you to this day?
I mean, I not really like on social media like that to basically be like on Facebook or scrolling or any of that. But I will get screenshots and different things, from time to time. And as to if it affects me or not, is like, like I basically like a nonchalant individual right now where, I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, but sorry to interrupt you, but go back to the album there because I want you to tell me about that album, my brother, because trust me, it's a very, very good body out.
So like,
I watching the chat there and everybody just footing out that album was fire. So give us a
yeah,
little bit.
and I mean, y'all think that album is fire, and I'm excited, to tell everybody about the new album that's coming, Talisman, which I think is even like more growth, is even more serious,
Y'all
than
heard it.
Impossible.
Y'all heard it here first and talk the thing. Colton's new project is coming soon.
And Spotify coming Dominica soon too, so I got no excuse.
None at all. So I mean, going back to the inspiration of the album, I had like, I've been working on that album since like 2015. What year I released it? What year? 2018?
2018, early 2018, early 2019, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that was 19.
All right. So
it says there on Spotify 2019.
Yep.
All right. So I was working on that album since 2015. There were a couple singles on there that I've been record like, a long time. Like Jail Life and a couple of the others. Like, I was trying to build a body of work that would be a true representation of me. Me as a person, me as what I represent, what I aim to bring forward and moving forward. And like I had tons of names, Sacrifice, all kind of names, Ice Cream Man, all kind of names I had, that just wasn't fitting at the time. And but I kept on working on the project year after year after year. Every song I would handpick them and basically add or remove, consult with my friends and consult with my circle, as to like what song that they feel, what song they don't feel, and then and somewhere in maybe 2018 thereabout, I was in New York, was I? Yeah. And it came to me as like, I am possible, because it's like everybody's saying like, this guy is not going to make it, blah, 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 not doing booyah music, not going to this, not going to that. And it's like, I was like, I need to find a way to show these people that I am possible. And I don't have to be on whatever scale that they think that I need to be on in order to make it in music. You know what I mean? So that's where the impossible came from. Because, in impossible, you could find I'm possible, and all of these songs basically was like, or most of the songs was, backing from that, where it was either about struggle or those type of things. And I basically took the bet because I'm constantly producing, I'm constantly releasing songs. So it was me compiling the best songs that I think that would cater to a general audience, and compiling it together and putting that album out to showcase, Colton T and the brand and me, myself. Yeah.
So you mentioned Ice Cream Man, and that has been, that's what like your slogan or your moniker, your tagline. What was where did that come from? First, where did that come from? And second, how you end up performing at Convent High School? That place was forbidden for young men for a long time, and you end up performing at Convent High School. I want to know how that happened.
Well, I mean,
Ice Cream Man, and then go ahead.
From since back in high school days, I always making the impossible happen. I mean, Creole Day, I had all them ladies in the school, and that was my pitch. For me to win my election, I promised the guys that I would bring the girls, on Creole Day.
Wow.
And,
I had one against you in student council,
Really?
Yes.
You was in a different group?
Yes, I was in a different group. I think you had proposed first to merge, and I said no.
What?
Yeah.
What, Rajiv? What?
Obviously, in my favor.
We took an investigation against you, Rajiv.
Yeah, but for head boy, flying colors, I mean, undefeated. Guys, girls, that took the kick. So going back to the question, what was the question, Rajiv?
Ice Cream Man. Where did the Ice Cream Man come from, and how did you get in that the convent performance? Because that's one of your most notable performances. That Ice Cream Man and performance in the music video and everything.
I've never seen up to this day. You know, we have artists that are coming and artists that are going, and I've never seen a reaction from fans. But no other artist like that in Dominica. Like, to be honest, like you say, it's one of my most memorable, and today I still love and appreciate those fans for creating that moment with me. Ice Cream Man, everybody know Ice Cream Man, Mr. Popeye. I used to basically go to the various communities with him as a kid to, you know, vend ice cream. And when I used to go there, you know, that's how I used to get to see a few girls from primary school, you know. And, you know, when I go in places like Funkole and, you know, all the ghetto spots where we used to go and sell ice cream, you know, them chicks used to be checking me out. And in 2011, was it? My engineer basically, or my schoolmate at the time, brought that beat to me. And he said, like, yo, like, I have that beat there, I don't really like it and whatever. And I tell, like, I like it. And then I think that was also like the first year that I got selected to perform for Creole in the Park. And I'm just like, yo, like, that's what I got on it. That's what I found. So it's like, I actually made this song for Creole in the Park. And then I actually released a music video for it. So it's like, I released it for Creole in the Park on Facebook, you know, those Facebook videos. And then I actually made a music video for it in 2013. And it took off from there. Yeah, like it, you know, I was chatting.
Engineer. That famous engineer we're talking about there.
Oh, yes. I mean, when you're talking about the Colton brand, you know, you have a couple of people in the background making things happen. So my day one, you know, he's been engineering for me for a long time. From, you know, inception, Tig Maglaw, Trigger.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, he used to be making beats back then, but now he just taking to engineering.
All right. Well, up the Colton engineer.
So
Big up.
So just
go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, so you said that most times you would have to experience something before you put a song out. And my favorite song on the album is Jail Life. To be quite honest, my favorite song is Jail Life. And just the message, because sometimes we tend to just forget our young men for sure. Now I'm pretty sure that's the message that you're trying to push out. But I can't recall Colton ever being locked up.
And that's the question I know, you know, everybody was gonna ask. Have you been to jail? Like,
so I can't recall that. So what led you to be able to put a song out like that and still be able to be as powerful as the songs where you actually experience what you're talking about?
All right. So like I was saying, you know, a lot of the inspirations actually either come from my intimate circle or it comes from something that I've experienced. And jail life, I went to primary school with a guy, and at that time, a lot of my friends were basically, you know, a lot of friends from either like Yam Peace, Stock Farm, Gota, Tarish, you know, and even at that age, you know, like them guys was already making backdoor and doing a lot of them things. So there was this friend I actually thought like he had died, you know, because he was making backdoor. And then I saw on the TV, they were having this educational program for young guys who are actually doing jail time. And, you know, I was surprised to actually see him there and in that program. And right there, right then, you know, like that's the inspiration, or that's how jail life came about, you know, because it's like I feel sometimes in the system, you know, we are the downfall of some of our individuals, you know, because I feel like life is like a constant competition. And you're gonna have people who are like not at the learning, they don't have the learning capacity that you might have. They may not learn as fast as you can. And what happens is because of that competition, you have the ones that are actually slower, slipping through the system, or basically slipping through the cracks. You know, those things, they cause depression and cause people to behave in different ways, you know what I mean? Because even in school, you know, they're grouping us by people who are smart, people who are slow, and so it's like that kind of like depression starts from there, because it's like you always made to feel, instead of it motivating you, it just makes you feel like an outcast. You know what I mean? So even when I do great, there's somebody else who basically aspiring to be great as well, and probably because they're not risky as me or they're not daring as me, they end up falling for the cracks. So it's like life, it kind of not fair, and the system is not a fair system, but life is life and it goes on. It's like not one man can't really change that, but at the end of the day, I can still sing about it and basically let people know, like, that's my view. So
yeah, as you say that there, I just remember I don't know if Raj even remember that, but back when I was growing up, if you fail common entrance, you would go into what they call JSP, right? And do one of those kind of woodwork or mechanic, auto mechanic, whatever.
Yeah.
And then after you do a couple years in that, if you start picking up, then they put you maybe in third form or fourth form of high school. But you had like a second chance, right? It wasn't just a standardized test, and if you fail that, things, or they're just pushing you through the system, like like kind of like what happening now. But
What happening now? Yeah.
we have a question from one of the viewers there. I'm just gonna pitch it to you. So it says, you've taken a lot of negative energy and converted and refueled it to do your best work. Many artists, however, feed off positive energy of fans. How has the journey with fans changed for you over time? Are you experiencing more of a positive connection today?
I mean, definitely, because it's like people probably at this point right now, just feel like, this guy is hardened, It doesn't matter how much we hate him, how much we bash him, like he's not going nowhere, I mean? He's there, and obviously, I mean, from what we can see, I've basically been channeling a lot of positive energy, or the energy has changed over time with the fans, and people are more receptive, of my work. People are more receptive of my presence, and more accepting of it. Yeah. So
I mean, Hadley and Dada and them had a little discussion last week there about music in Dominic, and I was thinking, and you actually came to my mind. I say, why is it that, because Dada make a comment about we having Booyah in Dominica, and we feeling, well, if anybody else try to sing Booyah, how they trying to take it, But when Jamaicans started doing reggae and dancehall and those things, they started it in Jamaica, but it's a worldwide thing now, right? So anybody can get inspiration and decide to follow the genre, man. I really respect you for staying steadfast in your goals, man, and not being, because it's easy, to get discouraged, in a small island like Dominica.
Yeah, not conforming.
Yeah, man.
So what would you say is your favorite project so far in terms of your I will ask you two questions. Your favorite song, regardless of critical acclaim or whatever you want to call that, and your best song in terms of reception and
Numbers.
profits and numbers.
Ice Cream Man today is still kind of one of the most successful ones. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can remember going to Jamaica, and it's like in that year 2014 when I decided, like, I'm gonna start to, I've been putting a lot of time into this. I'm gonna start to take this on a professional level and try to, like, really just like, market and brand myself as an artist. I was just like doing a lot of underground songs and, a lot of gun tunes and those things before that. And then when I decided, I'm gonna take it to the commercial level, I had two songs to choose from. It was a song called It's Summer that was basically like, hot on DBS for like the summer, and Ice Cream Man, and my engineer and his girlfriend was like, like, let's go with It's Summer. That's the song we should push. That's the song we should promote. And I'm like, for some strange reason, like, I prefer Ice Cream Man. I think like it's kind of more like a timeless song, where it can be, nobody gets tired of ice cream. Like, we gonna go and ice cream gonna still be there. So, I went against them and basically decided to mix and master Ice Cream Man and push that. And yeah, boom, Ice Cream Man hit. So in terms of like success, I still think like Ice Cream Man is, one of my most successful singles to date. Like I even went to convent just the other day, and none of the kids that were there when I released Ice Cream Man, and they were able to sing the song word for word, So it goes to show that, even like when WCK had, Balance Batty, or had, Colton T, today have Ice Cream Man, and I think like that's still one of the biggest singles from Dominica. Yeah, I can remember Trinidad calling me, to basically headline their ice cream festival back in 2015. And at that time, like I was all over the place performing, New Jersey, Texas, Miami, doing all of the circuit runs, but nobody wasn't paying attention to Colton T then, because I'm doing dancehall and not bouillon. But yeah, and in terms of a favorite song, boy, I have so many singles right now under my belt. I can't really state what is a favorite, but right now I'm clocking in my brain the one that I appreciate the most is Face for now.
That's one of the most recent ones.
Yeah, that's one of the most recent ones. Like I really kind of like it sits well with me. I like it. And then well, on the upcoming album, it's actually forming part of the Talisman album. But then there's a couple other songs on there like I really think that are gonna do well. Yeah.
Okay. So Colton, you did something, or you've been doing something that most artists and bands in Dominica either have failed to do successfully or are staying away from that, which is actually hosting your own event.
Yeah.
How do you see the importance? What is the importance of being able to host your own events as an artist?
It's very important, because year after year, Colton T's been having, top songs from Dominica. And basically we have a committee or an association, when whatever they would consider themselves, that's responsible for putting shows on every year. And year after year, I keep producing some of the top songs from the island, but I'm not getting the top picks in terms of performance time or placements to basically showcase my top songs for the people and for the people who are coming in, to also know, some of the top songs that are on the island. I'm not even when I did Ice Cream Man, they basically were second guessing me to basically place me in the top position or placement for performances. Hey, in Jamaica, you have the top song, you get prime time. In Dominica, you have the top song, they look at you at a certain way, you don't get it.
Nothing, right?
So I was just like, I gonna have to put my own thing on where I can showcase to people, to my fans who have been supporting me year in, year out, that they can get something back from me,
right.
For supporting and that's how, that whole Bomb in the City thing came about. And people were very skeptical about it in the beginning, and they were questioning it because they felt to themselves like, I'm not a Triple K, or I'm not one of the guys basically doing bouillon music that I can host my own event. And I'm just like, oh well. So it started off as something that I was just going to do, like just a small mini thing for, like fan appreciation, charge a small amount at the gate and whatever. And that thing turned out to be like a big concert and whatever, like, I was here renting pyrotechnics from St. Croix and doing all kind of things to basically like make the show of a different standard and class, to represent, what I represent, and that's like, quality and standard. Yeah.
Was a very difficult year for, we can say 2020 was a difficult year for everybody. And I could say maybe especially artists. And I'd like to assume, you don't have to answer that, but we like to assume that you were going to be there for Fest. And Carnival would have also been good. How has COVID, affected the career and Has that kind of set you back in any way, or how bad has it been with COVID?
Well, to be honest, I mean, if we could have another 2021 with COVID, God forbid, I mean, I wouldn't complain, to be honest. I've lost some and I've gained more, you know, and I'm just I appreciate the change, you know, and that's the type of person that I am, you know, like whatever comes my way, I kind of like adapt. And yeah, so whether there's COVID or not, and the thing about COVID is that it places all of us artists on a level playing field, you know what I mean? Because we can't perform.
Mhm.
So you're gonna have to
Yeah.
rely on basically other streams of income to survive. And the thing about it is that that's been my story
That's been your lane.
from day one. You know what I mean?
Yep,
So
yep.
welcome to the playing field, guys. You know, COVID can continue for my part. Sorry to say it like that, but hey, you know, it's just like, you know, welcome to, you know, punching time night right now, you know, in the battle zone. So let's take it to the streets.
So
Yeah.
Andy, hold on. So I saw an event Mikel had a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
You were performing.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of doing events like that? Because, like you said, doing, you know, smaller events, kind of intimate, where people can come and just hang out and, you know, you perform acoustic vibes. Well, how you like those kind of events and performing at those kind of events?
I think you did
Yeah.
rhythms with Craig at one point, no?
Yeah, I did something with him, yeah. But moving on from that, we're going back to Mikel. Yeah, I mean, I'm a sentimental guy, and I think I'm a sentimental act. You know, my music is very touchy. And yeah, I don't have a problem in doing these small events. The issue that I have is that I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes, you know, like I overthink on things, and instead of basically going the simple route, I like to just go like the grand way. And I've been able to maintain, you know, presence or relevance, even not really performing, you know, like, but at some point, you know, I'm gonna have to give back something to the fans, and you know, this year they're definitely gonna get something. It's not like I've just been sitting around, you know, on my royals and doing nothing. Like I've been working and preparing, you know, good music for them, which takes time. Yeah.
Yeah. So Colty, I don't know if you want to touch on that, but I just want to say that I saw you do something. You just brought it up. The whole idea of finding a way to create another source of income while you no longer can perform on stage. And we know that your music is everywhere. But one thing that I saw you do, which I am personally disappointed that a lot more of our artists back home didn't do it, is go into the merchandising of your music.
Yeah.
Like you can sell the music on a t-shirt, you can and you put it on a mask.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
that was the thing, you know. That brand, like, you know, that ICM brand is something like I've been working on since 2015 as well, and I've always been kind of just like hesitant to put it out there because, again, the perfectionist mentality been keeping me back. I'm always like, it's not ready, it's not ready, it's not ready, it's not ready. Like you know, but for me or with me, it will never be ready. You know what I mean? Until my close circle just, you know, started, like, you know, they're like, you know, you're wasting time. We're gonna start doing our own prints. So they started doing their own thing, whether if it's like embroidery or if it's just like, you know, printing of the logo and wearing it. You know, I didn't even start it. Is they who started it, you know, and you know, if Rai can tell you, you know, she's always been at me for something of a t-shirt
T-shirt or
or
something.
whatever I have, and basically it's like, it's the perfectionist mentality that keeps me from basically getting it done.
Look,
And then, you know,
Balti what just said, he still have his ICM shirt.
and you know, like I've been doing that. I've been doing those things like from since probably like 2011, you know, like printing t-shirts, you know, like every year I had a theme. So I think, you know, my first theme was Ice Cream Man, where, you know, I made it available, and, you know, I want to big up Crazy T. You know, he always basically like somewhat supported me in whatever way that he could with whatever resource that he had, and I made use of it. So it's like every year I had a theme. It was like, if I had a song, it would be Sweets for My Sweets, it would be Wire Wasted. I can remember going to Texas and performing at an event they call Soca Passion. And, like there was this group of girls, they call the Wire Waist crew, that they come to your party and they basically like turn up. Because, like energy in a party is like it kind of flows, like nobody wants to be the one man dancing. So they were a group of girls that basically go to the different parties and they basically just turn up. So, they inspired a song, and one year that was a theme. And yeah, I've been doing merchandise for a while. I took a break, but now I'm back at it.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
So before we continue, we get in there, but before we continue, we just want to let everybody know watching right now. We have another guest in the next 2 weeks coming on. It's going to be the young Kavem Hodge, young cricketer from Dominica who just made it to the West Indies team. We're going to be having him on March 10th, same time, same place. So we just want to let you guys know to tune in. All right. Hadley, go ahead. I know you had a question for Colton.
Yeah, so Colton, see, one problem that we have plaguing our music in Dominica is the constant, and I'll say it blatantly, the constant illegal use of other artists' material in what we eventually call our songs. And that's something that you have refrained from. Even when you drop in a Booyah song, everything about it is original. Nothing that you've already heard somewhere or on a jam, somebody sent a read. You ask somebody for a rhythm that's been playing all over. What do you think about that problem that we have? And do you think it's something that we really need to pay attention to and fix before it's too late?
You see, a lot of these things is like we don't really have like control over them. I mean, we can speak about it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people are going to do whatever they want to do and do whatever feels or sounds good to them. So it's like, I'd prefer to probably not even comment on it, because it's like my back broad, but my back broad.
No, but is it something? It's something that you don't do. So no, I'm curious as to why do you not do it?
Because the thing is that like I'm a creative, and whenever like how I do music, it's not based for me. Adding just a sample to a rhythm, I don't want to say it's lazy, but it's kind of lazy, because we have top tier talent on the island that can basically create stuff from scratch. But if it's easier to basically just like put a sample in a rhythm and kick it like a ball, like I mean, if that works for somebody, who am I to say otherwise? Okay. Like I do what I do and I like what I do, in terms of like how I come up with my Booyah tracks and whatever. And it works for me. My fans appreciate it. And you see, the thing about it is that I have more critical. My fans critique my music like very hard, because there are sometimes like like I might put out a Booyah and our fans, I'll just say like, yo, that's trash, like that's rubbish. They're not into that type of music, but at the end of the day, I have to basically just like cater for people who listen to music across the board. And what I've been trying to do is to fine tune this sound that it can be, digested by anybody, like it's still musical at the end of the day. So, we've been lowering the machine, we've been adding more chord progressions and more sooth instrumentations. I've been belting in terms of like my singing style. It's like a kind of like a rockish fusion. So it's like I belt it, but I sing it. It's like a sing J style. I've just been experimenting with it. And I think if people actually go and they listen to the first Booyah that I did to the last one, they will see how much, work we've been putting into it to basically make it sound the way that it actually sounds now. I think it's like on an ordinary day, you can listen to my Booyah and feel cool.
I mean, I'll support that because I remember when we were working on the Champion Rhythm,
Yeah.
and I sent it to you because I'm like, Colton, drop in on Bouillon. Let me send that for Colton. And for some reason, when you sent yours, I was like, that's the album title. I don't, up to
Yeah.
today, I cannot tell you why. And then when I let the other guys listen to it, they were like, yeah, that's the album title. And that was Champion.
Yeah.
So
So do you feel that you've set, I mean, despite all of the things that you've been through with the music in the on the island and building yourself to a certain level, do you feel like you've set the bar high for yourself? Meaning you just said that your fans critique you, right? Really,
Yeah.
really harshly, right? So you release something that maybe not up to the level that we as Colton fans have come to expect, right? Do you feel like you have set a certain level for yourself that you have to maintain or try to push?
Yeah. And the thing is that because I'm in competition with myself, it also, it takes more time to basically release a project, because it's like the aim is to basically outdo myself every time. And I wouldn't be able to just do something like a skilly bang or one of these guys that's just like random and basically just put that out and expect my fans to basically just gravitate to it. It has to have some type of concept, it has to have some type of vibe, because that's what they're expecting. And I don't aim to, kill their expectations. I aim to basically live up to the standard and keep putting out the work that I've been known for. Yeah.
So you have music, but also you started something very good in the community. You have this feeding program that you do from time. Tell us a little bit about that, and also if you want to share with everybody, how we could support that. If you have any listeners that want to, contribute or help out with the effort, talk to us about that.
Well, it's something I've been doing for the last there about 7 years or so. I've always gotten, offers for people who want to contribute and people who want to help and people who want to be a part. I've never really entertained it too much, because sometimes I just don't really want to do too much of the back and forth. It's just something that I do every year, and I'm moving forward to basically making it making a way that people can actually donate and actually support, because it's generated a lot of attention. And some of my aim in terms of working with these organizations is to just shed some light on their situation and just get them some more help using my platform and contributing at the same time. So at times I feel like nobody don't really have to go through me to donate. It's like if you feel to donate, you just go directly to the source. That's why I always outline where it is that I'm giving the donation to, or whatever the case might be. And then I'm a kind of individual. I don't like to have more than I can manage. And sometimes, it's like I'm busy. I may not respond to somebody who might want to donate at the time, and then they take it the wrong way, So
yeah, some people are real sensitive, man.
Real sensitive. So I like to keep it realistic and yeah.
Simple. Well, yes, guys. Sadly, we've come to the end of this episode. We try to make it try to keep within the lines unless our guest wants to go over. But Colton, just before you close, your music, your merch, where can we find Colton T stuff? Your a website or something?
Colton T's music basically is on all digital platforms. Once you put in that name, Colton space T, you'll get the music on Spotify, iTunes. In terms of the merch, it's coltont.threadless.com. For they're doing international shipping as well. And we're also doing it local. They could just send a message to the Instagram page or the Colton T Facebook page, at Colton T Music. And yeah, they could support.
All right, we will definitely drop those links on our Facebook page before the end of the night. And we want to thank you, Colty, for finally coming on with us. As we said, it's been an interview that we ourselves have been waiting for and pushing for. And I remember talking to you. You said, "Hey, I'm working on a project, and I want to have something on before I start having interviews." So guess what, guys? You heard it here first. There's a new Colton T project coming out pretty soon. When it
Yeah.
does come out, make sure that you check it on Apple Music, Spotify, all the streaming platforms. Buy it, don't stream it.
Give
You
us
know, every now and then give him a little view on YouTube, but check Spotify and Apple Music first.
what's the name of the album again?
Talisman.
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 Yeah.
How many tracks on that? 9?
Yeah, there are many tracks you want on it.
Oh, you have to give us a little more with than the last.
Well, you say Talisman, you know.
The last
Talisman
one-
normally is a number 9. I played up top or something. You know, so
Last one
Yeah,
was a,
so
was a
yeah, I
EP.
can do 9. I can do
Nine.
9.
So,
Nine
so,
or
so,
10, you know?
so one last question. You drop in a little bouillon in that one, like how you drop bouillon in the last one.
Possibly not. I might not drop a booyah on it. I might actually drop like a solo booyah project in
Oh,
itself.
okay.
I mean, since everything is like digital and you know, no shows, you know, y'all might get at least about 3 projects from me for the year, you know, and a booyah project will be one of them.
Man,
You know,
can't remember when last I saw a bouillon album apart from Signal in most recent times.
Hello.
yeah.
But
Wrapping up.
ask your question. I can't. Where is that question?
Boy, my mother just in the chat, they asking a bunch of questions.
Yes, I trying to get
Yeah.
one of those questions. And yeah,
I think she was asking about Colton mother, and she said she came on late, so she didn't get the last thing about his did his mother basically did your mother come around to kind of accepting, that you were successful in the music and that kind of stuff. I think that's what she wanted to just.
I'm not really sure. She came around to basically like being happy about the music and enjoying it and learning the songs, you know. But my mother, like myself, is like an introvert, so it's like I don't even think like my mother actually got to see me really perform. You know, she's not really like an outside person. She don't really have much friends or anything like that. She's an introvert, and I guess that's where I got it from too.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, she did come around to basically like really enjoying the craft, you know, because she would hear it passing on the road, she'd hear it on the radio and that type of stuff, you know. Even to when I did the Bomb in the City concert, she was actually more scared than anything because, you know, she was like, yo, like you're taking a big risk. And, you know, I get, you know, as a mother, you know, she just didn't want me in more predicaments than I was, you know, already in.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right. Mrs. Jude, I hope you got your answer. Anyways, Colton, somebody asked another question. Who is that girl in the chat answering all the questions? But I'll leave that for you to figure out. If you want to touch on it, that's up to you. But there's a girl
I can take the questions.
There's a girl in the chat answering all our questions. So they want to know if that's his girlfriend or if his wife.
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
No, and I can't see the chat, so I mean.
Oh, should I call the name?
Yeah, sure, man. I mean.
I can probably guess.
Cherise Marlo.
She answering all the questions.
Yeah,
All
trust
the
me,
questions,
she have all the answers.
That's your de facto PR manager.
Oh,
That's
she's
that-
the everything boy.
That's part of the management team.
As a matter of fact, let me tell you, at the beginning of the show, I said, you know what? I said, what am I doing? I'm supposed to send the link directly to the PR manager. I said, I had to offer my apologies. I had to say, I'm very sorry for sending the link because I should have known better. I should have known to send it from the start. You check it.
Yeah, man, because you don't want problems for yourself. You know,
all of a sudden, she stopped. Okay. Leave that alone.
Yeah,
man.
All right, guys.
But everybody, thanks for tuning in with us tonight. Thanks for tuning in. We definitely appreciate you guys watching the show. Like we said, in the next 2 weeks, we're gonna have young Kavem Hodge on with us. You know, we're gonna do a little sports episode. Cricket is my thing, so we're gonna be talking a little cricket and his experience with the West Indies team, COVID, and all of that stuff. They just came back from Bangladesh. They won the Test series over there, so you know we want to talk to him and have some fun. All right, so tune in 2 weeks. We just all of our episodes are on YouTube. You guys can go over there and check it out. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. You know, we'll be definitely uploading this interview. And I hardly put myself under the gun. So it's right now it's 9:06. So it'll be up by 10:06.
10:06.
All right. And if you guys missed it, you guys can go over there and check it out and comment and all of that good stuff. All right. So thank you for joining us and have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Yeah.